Hi guys, Louis at Defending Elvis. Happy Thanksgiving. So I've just come back from shopping. I've just come back from buying my son a car, a Volkswagen Polo 2013. We agreed £3,000. My son couldn't stop smiling. My son is only 17. He had an accident in his other car. So he's very happy. I'll help him. We'll go halves. Got to keep the son happy. Coincidentally, I bought my daughter a car as well a couple of days ago. She's happy. We go halves. It's always, we go halves, and then even their half, they don't pay it in one go. They pay me every month. So, come on, guys, you've got to help your kids, haven't you? And my daughter's 19, Talia. Rio is 17. So he's very happy. And then I quickly went shopping. I got my wife wanted. She gave me a shopping list for her and Talia, my daughter. Salmon, sweet potato chips, baby potatoes, baby boiled potatoes, whatever you got to boil them, yeah. Corn on the cob, baked beans. She wanted me to get some alphabet chips for the kids, little chips that are shaped in letters. And I'll have steak, me. I might even have some pork bellies as well. So I've done as I'm told. I've done the shopping. So I had a great thing happen. We had Jeffrey is a researcher who talks to me, and me and Jeffrey speak regularly on WhatsApp. Jeffrey, how are you? I hope you're well. Now, Jeffrey messaged me out of the blue. Oh, I've sent you some clothes, some t-shirts. And in his parcel, so thank you, Jeffrey, it says, "Hi, mate." This is his letter. He's in America. Let me just have a look. So this is the parcel. Look. And let me just see if it says exactly where Jeffrey lives, what country it is. I know obviously it's America, but I can't see. It doesn't say here. So it had to come through customs. No, it doesn't say. I can't see what country it's from. Anyway, so Jeffrey says, "Hello, mate. Hope you like the t-shirts. Hope all is well with the family. Thanks for fighting for that famous hound dog guy whose name escapes me at the moment." That's what I always say to Donna. So Jeffrey talks to other well-known people like Donna Presley and many others. Yeah, Jeffrey knows a lot of well-known people. Bless you, my friend, from Jeff in the U. It's from Jeff TCB. And then he just says, "I'd love to help you as much as I can. Don't hesitate to let me know if you need help." So Jeff's been really supportive. Yeah. Me and him chat on WhatsApp. Yeah. So the stuff came today. Now this is quite big. I'm going to give this to my wife so she can wear it as pajamas. She will love this. It's soft material. It's nice and big. She already she's wearing a pink one that Nicola got us. So Nicola got us matching Pink Lady and T-Birds clothing, and I don't know if you know Nicola, but Aurora loves it. It's pink with the words Pink Ladies on it. She wears it most nights as pajamas. So Jeffrey also got me. I really love this. Da da da. Sun Records, Memphis, Tennessee. This is lovely. I'm going to really enjoy wearing this. This is really nice and comfy looking. Sun Records Company, Memphis, Tennessee. So thank you so much. He also got me a black one. Sun Records Company, where rock and roll was born, established 1952, Memphis, Tennessee. Here we are, guys. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And that's gonna suit me, guys. It's perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. It's very anyone that sends me things, it's so kind. And of course, Louis, things wouldn't be the same without getting Louis a vest. So in case you want to know my size, guys, I'm quite small. I'm quite small. I'm medium to small. But there we are, a nice vest for the summer. Louis has made vests famous. What do you call them? Wife beaters or something? So it says Sun Records, Folsom Prison Blues, Cash, Johnny Cash, and the Tennessee 2, the Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love it, all of it. So guys, thank you so much. Jeffrey, you're so kind. Now, in the envelope, this came. And it says, birthplace of rock and roll, obviously Sun Studio. And I thought, do you know what? We'll just do a little 20-minute show. I'll show off what Jeffrey has sent me. Thank you so much. And I'll see if I can read this before my wife gets home. Yeah, just a little short show. So let's give it a go. Let's see if we can read this before my wife gets home. So here it is. It's the birthplace of rock and roll. And I'm guessing that this was actually got from the actual shop. Is that right, Jeff? Because I think Jeff lives close to... Jeff, I'm not exactly sure where Jeff lives, but I'm pretty sure it's Memphis or Tennessee, something like that. So it says here... So we're looking at the back page. I'll show you. So it says, still rocking, bringing wonderful new artists to fans every week with Sun Studio sessions on PBs and web TV recorded right where you stood in the legendary studio. That's the back page. And the front page, birthplace of rock and roll. Okay, it's just a really cute little pamphlet. I'm going to try and read all of it to you. I'll try and show you it as well. So it says, live in person, if music were a religion, then Memphis would be Jerusalem, and Sun Studio is the most sacred shrine. Elvis got his start here, and Johnny, Carl, and Jerry Lee, Bono got the chills. Right, okay, these are people that have visited Sun Studios, isn't it? Let me read it again. Johnny Cash, obviously. And then it says Carl and Jerry Lee. And it says Bono got the chills. Ringo called us Ground Zero. And Bob Dylan kissed the floor. Bob Dylan kissed the floor. I'm a Bob Dylan fan. I like Bob Dylan. And then it says they rock and roll. So then there's a title. It says Inspiration. This is the story of hope and impossible achievement. The realization of possible dreams by impossible people. It is a timeless story about breaking the rules, shaking the world, and getting away with it all. And it's a true story. At Sun Studio, we are blessed to have known each of these impossible heroes and be entrusted to bring you their story, which continues to inspire new musicians everywhere. Thank you for being here with us. Now you are part of the story. It lives with you. So this, I think this came from Sun Studios. Did it, Jeffrey? Did it? So the page 2 is titled Pain, Misery and Music and Beale Street. Okay. Obviously, you're not going to see it very clearly, but this camera doesn't really focus. Thanksgiving Day, guys. We're having a little read with Louis in the UK. Sat in his kitchen in the shop where nothing is for sale. So this will go into my shop, Jeffrey. Yeah. So pain, misery and music. The Southern Delta had plenty of pain. Black slaves and white sharecroppers alike. Cotton was a brutal life. The music helped. Whites had their music, melodic Celtic folk music that began the evolution to country music. Blacks brought a rhythm, a beat, a driven music of field, hollers, a core and a response where one voice sings the lead and is answered by the rest in chorus. It was in the black churches where the first blending call and response with white music began to take place. African tradition interwove music and worship. Anglican hymns took on a totally new and different African rhythm. So then the next page is called Beale Street. In the Delta, all roads, steamboats and railways led directly to Memphis and brought the music along with them. First written on paper by a black musician, W.C. Handy, he called it the blues. and it happened on Beale Street in 1909. Beale Street became the hub of the black community in the South. The blues were everywhere, every night, club, dance hall, and gambling place, and a den of iniquity had a stage with music every night. Every street corner had a jug band that played for pennies. The street was coursing with energy and it was alive. I can imagine it, guys. I can imagine being there. The bluesman, Beale Street, was like New York Broadway for an actor. If you could make it here, you could make it anywhere. That's the lyrics to a song. If you could make it here, you could make it anywhere. Who is that sings that? Oh, who is it? It's got New York in the lyrics. Oh, I can't remember. And if you hadn't played Bill, who were you? And others were listening too. So the next page, it says, if your mama didn't like it, all the better. And then the other page, tell them Phillips sent ya. Bit blurry, but you get the idea. So radio went from huge cabinets in the family's living room to small transistoride sets in the teenagers' bedrooms. I remember my little radio when I was a kid in the 70s. I loved it. Radio stations like WSM played only country music and broadcast the Grand Ole Opry. WSM, I'm from WSM. My town is called Weston-super-Mare. Played only country music and broadcast the Grand Ole Opry across the South. WDIA in Memphis played only black music called race music. In the Old South, for the first time, blues were heard by the huge white audience, mostly teenagers listening secretly to avoid the complaint of their parents. Radio let the music genie out of the bottle. So they're painting a picture, aren't they? They're trying to put us there, yeah? So the next page is tell them Phillips sent ya. The dreaded race mix was happening. Bands like Bill Haley and the Comets began to do blues tunes. They heard of WDIA, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley. They began to borrow melodies. They heard of the Grand Ole Opry. The walls came tumbling down. It was like a fusion, a completely new sound blended from old one. Dewey Phillips was the first of the Wild Man's DJs. Tell him Phillips sent ya. He screamed in the wildness from his radio show Red Hot and Blue in Memphis, screaming to teenagers. So Dewey was an icon among Memphis teens, and in a few years he would be the first DJ in the world to play a song recorded up the street at Sun Studio by an unknown teenager named Elvis Presley. No surprise. So here we go. The birth of rock and roll. Now, if my wife turns up, I'm going to have to go. I hear a car. I'm hoping I've got just enough time to read this, at least this page. The birth of rock and roll. Sam Phillips loved Beale Street and the sounds of the blues in the starting studio called Memphis Recording Studio. In 1950, he said, my aim was to try and record the blues and other music I liked. I knew this music wasn't going to be available in a pure sense forever. And for the next 4 years, Sam recorded the sounds of Beale Street blues like nobody before him or since. Sam opened Sun Studios to capture all the pure, raw energy and record records, but he was self-taught and didn't care about the rules. He didn't care that he wasn't supposed to use so much echo in the three-piece band, sounded like an all-night party. He didn't care that he shouldn't crank up the amp so high it distorted. He didn't care where the rules against blending musical styles. There were rules against blending musical styles. He knew music should be sheer fun. Yeah, got to let your hair down and rock and roll with it, innit? Sam created Sun Studios because he thought the love of fun was bigger than the rules. So the love of fun music was much bigger. Hello, what's the matter? She's trying to get my attention. Hello, what's the matter? So there we go. We love something. We're gonna do right, come on, come on. Come on. She's trying to get my attention. She wants right, come on. Come on. She's trying to get my attention. Right, is she gonna let me read this? Right, let's have a look. Good girl. Go on then, go on then, good girl. So I don't sound like nobody. I think we know where this is going because like we all know this story. As a teenager, Elvis sang out on Beale Street, listened to the Grand Ole Opry with his parents and Red Hot Blue and with his friends. And when Elvis first walked into the studio, he was asked who he sounded like. He said, "I don't sound like nobody." A nervous, shy teenager, Elvis paid $4 to record a song with the hopes of being invited back. It took a year. After playing with the studio band for a couple of hours, Sam hadn't heard anything he liked, so he gave them a break and left the room. Then it happened. They were just playing, having fun. Then Sam said, "What's that?" Elvis said, "We were just messing around." "Start it over," said Sam. Sam shouted, and the tape was rolling. Elvis sang, "That's all right." Come on, guys. That's all right, mama. Like no blues song Sam had ever heard before, it had all power and honesty of the blues mixed with the wildness and exuberance of an all-night party. It jumped right up in your face and said it like it or not, "This is me and I'm not going away." It said, "Look up, lock up your daughters." I know what you mean. Come on, rock and roll, guys. It brought out the rebellious side of people. It did. It was, come on, James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause. It had that feel, didn't it? So rock and roll was born. So then we got Giant Voice dressed in black. One day in the fall of 1954, Johnny Cash was sitting on the steps of Sun Studio when Sam came to work. He stood up and said, "I'm Johnny Cash. I want you to hear me play with a voice like Johnny's." How could Sam have said no? Sam listened to Johnny and sing. He loved his voice and invited him back. But he said, "Write me an up-tempo, weepy love song." "Cry, Cry, Cry" was Johnny's answer, released the next year. Sparse and pure, it would break barriers between the pop and the country music, setting him on a long career where his music would remain one of a kind, raw and unpolished. I'm a big fan of Johnny Cash. I think he's great. Johnny Cash stuck a folded dollar bill under his guitar string to get a raspy sound. "Hey, Sam, listen to this." Sam liked it. You got to transport yourself back there, haven't you? Like, wow, the world was so different before these people came along, transformed it. One night after the show, we got talking about our wives and guys running around and so forth. I had a brand new baby and I said, "Not me, buddy, I walk the line." That's where the song came from. Johnny wrote it that night. His fame just skyrocketed with the release of "I Walk the Line," changing all the rules. We love that song. Come on, how can you not love that song? So Potato Sack Pack. It's a lovely little pamphlet, this. Potato Sack Poet, Go Cat Go. He was 22 years old, married, living in a government project, working as a farmhand, kids on the way, and a poor dirt. And he was dirt poor, playing the bars at night with his brothers. Carl Perkins' music was born in the honky-tonks of the South with one-of-a-kind rhythm licks on the bass string of his guitar. It wasn't long before Carl heard somebody named Elvis on the radio, the first singer I ever heard who sang a lot like me. Good old Elvis. It wasn't long before Carl heard, it didn't take a week for Carl to pack up the Perkins Brothers band in his old Hudson with drums of the roof and arrived at Sun Studios begging Sam for a chance to play. It was a magnet, wasn't it? Once Elvis had been discovered, it was a magnet. Yeah. During a show, Carl saw a dancer in the crowd trying to keep his girlfriend from stepping on his blue suede shoes. So he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and writes the song in pencil on the only thing he has, an empty potato sack. I didn't know this. 3 months later, son released the song on New Year's Day, and Carl shoots to the top of the music charts and changes his life forever. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. How interesting is that? He wrote it on a potato sack. Wow. So he sees a dancer in the crowd trying to keep his girlfriend from stepping on his blue suede shoes. That's amazing. What a story. I love that. Right. So the next page, 21 years old, twice married, born entertainer, rocks original bad boy. Jerry Lee Lewis heard Elvis on the radio as well, and Jerry Lee thought his own wild kind of music might be liked a lot. Sun Studio. So he and his daddy sold 13 dozen eggs to pay for the trip to Memphis. That's just mad. Just shows you how poor these people were. He sold eggs to pay for his ticket to go to Memphis. Doesn't that say everything? These humble beginnings, you know. Jerry Lee signed on as a session player to make a little money and spent lots of nights on Beale Street pounding on the ivories like a wild man, playing with his feet when he felt the messianic urges, playing so violently with his left hand it sounded like a drummer. Then it happened. Whole lot of shaking. Hits the charts in 1957, followed 6 months later with Great Balls of Fire. And Jerry Lee was setting pianos afire on national television, scaring parents everywhere and in all aspects of his life, earning all of rock's first bad boys reputation. So I think you can see the film of Jerry's life free on YouTube. I think I've watched it a few times. So I mean, that's interesting. I'm a fan of all of these people. Yeah. When I discovered Elvis, I loved all rock and roll. I loved rockabilly as well. Obviously Elvis was always number one for me, but I fell in love with all of rock and roll, all of the rock and roll ballads. I love them. All of the, you know, like Soldier Boy, all the 50s, 60s rock and roll. I just loved it. I immersed myself in it. I would sit on my bed with I had a bright red wooden record player that I'd bought really cheap from somewhere. I can't remember where I bought it. And I would play my 7-inch records, and it was all rock and roll, the Beatles, the Rat Pack, you know, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all that stuff. Obviously Elvis, yeah. And I was completely immersed in that sort of James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause type brand, you know, sort of like Marlon Brando, you know. I loved leather jacket, white t-shirt, denim trousers, rolled up denim, you know, bright coloured socks. I just was doing my hair, my duck's ass hairstyle, constantly brushing my hair. I just was in the middle of it, yeah. And right, so on the last pages, guys. Hey girls, what you doing? So hey girls, what you doing? This is the last, probably the most famous page of all of them. Hey girls, what you doing? They were all friends here. Elvis was a ringleader. He was the first one. The others heard on the radio the magnet that drew them to Sun Studios. It was just a regular day at Sun Studios. Carl Perkins was in the studio recording the song Matchbox. Jerry Lee was sitting in on the session piano. Elvis had signed with RCA a year earlier and came by just to say hello to his old friends. Johnny Cash came by, and all four just naturally did what they did when they get together. They broke out into a jam session. Probably one of the most famous ever jam sessions, yeah? Could you imagine being there, being a fly on the wall? Sam recorded the whole thing, and of course the newspapers ran the story and picture titled The $1 Million Quartet. Wow, what a picture. I'm looking at it now. It's impossible. Each of them dirt poor to impossible, successful in 2 or 3 years, from nobody with no chance at all to fame and millions of fans, all at the number one, all at number one in the charts. All of them from nothing, little one-man recording studio in the unremarkable, until then, Southern town. Just impossible, but true. It happened, guys. It's history. It's history. Tuesday, December the 4th, 1956. The only thing predictable about Elvis is that his his unpredictability. He was unpredictable. Yesterday, Carl from Blue Suede Shoes, Perkins was cutting some new records at Sun on Union. Elvis dropped in, so did Johnny Cash. Jerry Lee was already there. Elvis headed for the piano, and an old-fashioned barrel house session with a barbershop harmony resulted. In the picture are Sun's new discovery, Jerry Lee Lewis. At the left, Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash. And the virtuoso at the little 88 is Elvis. Memphis Press Scimitar. That's it. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to do a little happy Thanksgiving show. I wanted to thank Jeffrey for sending me the t-shirts. Anyone that sends me stuff, thank you guys. Yeah, I'm very grateful. Anyone, anything like that, is just kind. If you like what I do, if you appreciate what I do, it's very kind of you when things like this happen, when you become members, stuff like that. Thank you for making me feel like you like what I do. That's important to me, that you show me that you like what I'm about. Yeah, I really enjoy dedicating a massive part of my life to this channel, depending else. I'm so glad that there's no strikes anymore. Honestly, it really feels great. Yeah, it feels like a new beginning. And it's Thanksgiving. It happened on Thanksgiving Day. All of my strikes were removed off on Thanksgiving Day. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. So you guys mean a lot to me. Team Elvis, you're amazing. You rock. Yeah. So I really enjoyed today. I feel like I've had a breath of fresh air and in light, just, I can't explain it. Yeah. I really hope you guys have not eaten too much turkey and ham and all the trimmings that come with it. I really hope you've had a great time with your friends and family and acquaintances and work colleagues, whoever you're with, even if you're just with your own family. I hope you've had a lovely time. You've probably eaten too much. You probably drank a bit too much. Too many desserts. Yeah, but you deserve it. You deserve it. Treat yourself. Team Elvis, Elvis defenders around the world, in every country, but especially in America, because you are celebrating Thanksgiving. I send you all love and happiness, and I pray for all of you. Love you guys. Team Elvis, you rock. Take care, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.